For joining us on 2K Sports NBA action. It's coming up. This is Brian Anderson. I've got Tim Legler and Grant Hill at the table with me, and Ali LaForce covering us courtside. All right, a moment to check out some numbers for Kristaps Porzingis.
And his effective field goal percentage isn't in the best place right now. Over the last 5 games, he hasn't had much shot discipline. He'll be looking to play a lot smarter today.
Now a look at Detroit's starting lineup. The backcourt is Cade and Thompson. Tobias Harris out there with Holland. And it's Stewart in at center, filling out the middle. And for the Hawks, Johnson and Okongwu, the duo inside. Daniels and Risache out on the perimeter. And it's Young in at point. And now about a third of the way into the season. You think it's too early to talk about awards, Grant?
You know, B.A., it depends on the award, if I'm being honest. MVP and Rookie of the Year, that's way too early. You can begin to see the guys who are in the running for Most Improved or Sixth Man.
And so it's Johnson with it. He brings it up for the Atlanta Hawks. Daniels finds Young. Pass to Risache. And he drives in. That one's good, and it's Young with the assist.
Good to see Risache attacking like that. When he sees the lane open up, he gets real aggressive.
Here's Cunningham. The three. Can't get it to go. Missed his first one. About a minute into this first quarter. Pass to Young. Now here's Risache. Here's Johnson. Takes it into the teeth of the D and converts the layup.
And slashing in for that offensive rebound. Johnson also getting credit for some hustle points.
Cunningham against Young. Cunningham deciding where to go with it. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Shoots over Young. Misses off the right iron. For Atlanta, they've gone 2 of 3 from the floor. Let's go now to the sideline and catch up with Ali LaForce.
Well, I did have a chance to talk with head coach Quinn Snyder. I asked him what his thoughts were on Cade Cunningham, and he said Cade is extremely talented. He's got great size. He plays under control. He's one of those guys that makes his teammates better. It's easy to see why he initiates so much of their offense. Back over to you guys.
Okay, good stuff. Thank you, Ali. Sends it home from three-point land.
And you see how dangerous Risache can be from deep, especially considering how fast his release is.
Young against Cunningham. Another miss. They desperately need a bucket.
Just brutal. I mean, 5 straight misses to begin the game.
And he got the whistle on the way up, so he'll be headed to the line for a pair. Cade Cunningham picks that one up.
Well, with the way he can score it, you're going to bite on that Johnson pump fake. He is a tough cover.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
The free throw drops for Johnson. And Tim, we'd heard Hawks players in the past saying this team lacked an identity. You think one's emerging?
Well, offensively, they're still centered around the playmaking of Trae Young. And defensively, they're starting to establish a culture. It's headlined by Dyson Daniels.
No good on the second free throw. Well, you need a real big-time star to win in this league. And Grant, the Pistons have that in Cade Cunningham.
Oh my, B.A. It took until year 4 for him to really break through. Already a player who can impact the game in so many ways, but when his numbers go up across the board, that's doing something special.
And what you respect about Cade Cunningham is that he puts his team on his back. He does everything he can to deliver whatever they need.
And so the timeout by J.B. Bickerstaff here. We might see him looking to make some tweaks to the strategy. Fresh off a win against the Pacers.
They were allowed to ramp up their offense as the defense they faced was barely present.
Yeah, they didn't play down to the level of their opponent. That's not an easy thing to pull off, but they certainly were focused in this one.
Now that we're into November, let's see how the Eastern Conference standings are shaken out. You look at the Hawks, they're sitting at the top of their conference right now with the #1 record. And, of course, there's the Pistons. They're 5 spots behind them.
Well, I think for Detroit, it really hasn't been the dominant season they were hoping for, but they're still in the hunt for a high postseason seed.
Well, this is kind of where we expected them to be. They're a very good team, maybe even great, but they are still one level below the very top. He's stacking up the missed shots right now. He needs to find another part of his game that can help his team. Well, I appreciate the aggressiveness, but you've got to be smarter. That's a low percentage pass.
About 3 minutes gone in the first quarter. Pass to Rizachet. He shoots it. And once again, off the mark by Atlanta. Harris finds Cunningham. Fader on the way. And that one good.
Yeah, and I like Cunningham from the mid-range area of the floor. It's the most difficult place for a defense to run extra traffic at you.
Now here's Young. He had a 27-point outing in their last game against Phoenix.
And he promoted team chemistry. That's how you do it, by moving the ball. Solid shooter from deep, and he does not need much room to get that off.
Pass to Harris. No good from 11 feet. Here's Atlanta with the ball. They're on an 11-3 run. And it's rejected. And up the court come the Pistons on the break. Holland gets the bucket. Atlanta leading by 6. Now here's Rizachet, coming off a 22-point game against Phoenix. Daniels passes to Johnson. Off target from 3-point range. Detroit has gone 0 for 3 from downtown. And the powerful one-handed slam.
And that's what you get with Cunningham running the show.
Young with it. No made baskets yet. There's a screen. Count it. 1 for 1 to start the game.
And they may have talked about shot selection coming into this.
Pistons trail by 6. Pass to Holland. Harris on the wing, covered by Johnson. Down low. Kicks it out to Cunningham. Fires the 3. The rebound by Atlanta. Okongwu's got 4 rebounds in the game.
He seems a little out of rhythm right now.
Now Daniels. 8 points in his last time out. Here's Johnson. Oh, the dunk by Okongwu.
And he's battling for everything, doing all he can to help extend their lead.
Just throwing down the putback with authority.
Leaving some skin on the floor. Those are pure hustle points.
Here's Stewart, following the score by Atlanta. Pass to Cunningham. Takes the 3. Rebounded by Johnson.
And his struggles have been apparent. Unable to make an impact scoring the ball.
Young against Cunningham. The 3 ball. A nice shot by Young. Young's got 5 now.
And the defense is really allowing them too much room on the perimeter.
And in the first year of a 5-year, $150 million extension, Jalen Johnson, a key player for his team moving forward, Legs.
And he's coming off that shoulder surgery, an injury which ended his season prematurely. and he's a lefty, so hopefully that won't be an issue going forward.
Let's not forget he's Milwaukee tough, too. Now here's Risache. 5 points in the game. And here's a Kongwu for 3. Thompson pulls it in.
They're playing with a lot of energy tonight. We can see that in their dominance on the glass.
Cunningham outside. Stewart, a screen on Young. To snap the cold streak. And there's the whistle. He'll head to the line to shoot 2. It's on Onyeka Kongwu.
Yeah, listen, Cade is too much for one defender. He didn't have a choice there but to foul him.
All right, guys, let's get your take on the scoring breakdown for the Hawks.
Well, we're in the era of the three-point basket. So if you want to win games in this league, you have to connect from deep, and they have been thus far.
And how about the work they've done inside, just owning the paint so far?
And he drops the first. Well, Tim, despite their youth, the Hawks have been able to remain pretty competitive.
Well, when you look at this lineup, you see a lot of length and versatility, and that's where this league is headed. So they are creating a roster for positionless basketball.
Kristaps Porzingis, he's checked in for a Kongwu. And he makes both free throws. Grant, you look at some of the rule changes in recent years. Does it seem to you like coaches' challenges are here to stay?
You know, B.A., it does. And I think that's a good thing. You know, I can think of a few calls I would have liked to challenge in my day. So it's a nice option to have.
Now here's Young. He's got 5, 6 to shoot. Fires from the corner. Risache, no good. And here's Cunningham. He'll bring it up for Detroit. They trail by 9. First chance of the season for them to go up against Atlanta.
Last year shows that having the better overall record doesn't mean you're going to dominate the lesser opponent. And they've come out with a fearless approach on the boards.
Daniels finds Porzingis. And Cunningham pulls it down.
That is a rarity. When he takes flight, he usually hammers it home.
Back to Stewart. Detroit moving the ball around. Daniels against Cunningham. Here's Thompson. And the slam dunk by Thompson.
Well, Cunningham is confident running these sets. He just knows how to break down the defense.
And so the timeout by Quinn Snyder here. I think right now he might be looking at some adjustments. Newell, he's checked in for Atlanta. Alexander Walker comes in for Daniels. Detroit also making some changes. Robinson comes in for Holland, and Ivy subbed in for Thompson. The Hawks lead by 7. Porzingis sets a screen to the middle. And he was fouled while in the act of shooting, so he'll take 2 free throws.
Even though Porzingis can shoot over anyone, he still does all the little things that make a difference.
Atlanta shooting their 3rd and 4th free throw attempts of the game.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
He's off on the first.
Standing at 7-3, we have never seen a player quite like Kristaps Porzingis, a fantastic shooter, a solid ball handler. What a talent.
And the second free throw is good. Here's Ivy, making a mark on the offensive end, scoring around 13 a game. And from the sideline, let's catch up with Allie.
Thank you, Brian. Cade Cunningham is leading the way for this Pistons team. Coach J.B. Bickerstaff said he shows belief in his teammates, and that's what leadership is. He's with you during the good and the bad. That gives the rest of his team more comfort and confidence. Back to you.
Establishing the mindset. Allie, thanks very much for the report. The Hawks lead by 6. Outside, Alexander Walker. Pass to Porzingis. And it's going to be a 3-second call. Since we have a moment, let's see who's leading in assists this season. Cade Cunningham on top. Second, Trae Young.
You gotta love watching both of these guys move the rock. They really put on a clinic in ball movement and finding teammates in their spots.
Harris outside. Stewart outside, puts up a three. Newell pulls it in. Atlanta's gone 3 of 6 shooting from beyond the arc. Young, the pass to Alexander Walker. And once again, off the mark by Atlanta. Pistons trail by 6. For 3, here's Harris. Knocks it down from distance.
Well, you can't give Tobias Harris that look from beyond the arc.
And Atlanta with possession here. And here's Young. 5 points in the game. Pass to Porzingis. Here's Newell. Outside, Alexander Walker. 4 on the clock. Here's Porzingis. Ooh, a little luck that time as it drops. And the Hawks lead by 5.
Well, that's a tough matchup because he's skilled and relentless.
Now here's Cunningham, covered by Alexander Walker. Ivy against Young. Ivy passes to Stewart. And finished off by Stewart.
The execution has been better lately, but do they have enough energy to pull it off?
In a tight game like this, you really have to take it one possession at a time. Focus on limiting mistakes.
So it's Atlanta now, following the score by Detroit. Porzingis sets a screen. Pass to Newell. Here's Alexander Walker. Pure from three-point range.
Defensively, you have to stay connected to him on the perimeter.
And so the timeout by J.B. Bickerstaff here. He might have seen something and needs to review with his guys. Atlanta making some changes. Krejci comes in for Johnson, and it's Kennard in for Young. Detroit also making some changes. Reed's checked in for Stewart. Jones comes in for Tobias Harris, and Green is subbed in for Cunningham. Pistons trail by 6. Ivy outside. Robinson for 3. Oh, wow. Drew the contact, and that 3 almost went in. So he'll go to the line for 3 free throws.
Good defensive intensity, but you have to stay in control always.
It's his first trip to the line. And he hits the first of 3. Last season, the Pistons winning a few playoff games for the first time since 2008, Tim.
Yeah, that's right. In the preceding 16 seasons, only 3 playoff appearances, and they were swept each time. This is a long time coming for Detroit. A team now that can not only make the postseason, but potentially make some noise.
And last season, the Pistons became the first team ever to triple their win total from the previous campaign.
Yeah, going from the worst record in the association in 2024 to a playoff team in 2025. And now they look to just keep on rising.
And a youth movement for this Hawks roster. What went into that, Tim?
Well, first, they climbed 10 spots to get the #1 pick, which led to Zachary Risachet. Then the trade of DeJounte Murray, which got them Dyson Daniels, who's 7 years younger. And, of course, you've got Jalen Johnson, who's breaking out. So they've got some young talent that is on the rise.
Ivy's shot is off.
I love how they've attacked the boards here in the first quarter.
Pass to Krejci. Lets it go from deep. Drills it from deep. And the Hawks lead by 6.
Well, the defense was a little soft right there, and it made it a practice shot.
6-second difference between the shot clock and game clock. And here's Reed. Back to Ivy. The 3. He drops it from range.
Hot off the pass. Ivy has a shot up. No time to waste when you've got a pro-level defense coming at you.
Porzingis with a screen on Ivy. Kennard for 3. With 2 seconds left. The basket drops, and he gets fouled on the shot. One free throw coming his way.
Have to take care of the defensive boards better than that.
Well, you see this all too often. The effort has to be there first.
One shot.
That does it for the first quarter. Atlanta on top, up 6. And we'll get the second quarter underway on the other side of this break. And for those of you just tuning in, second quarter action is where we are. All right, guys, what do you think about the Hawks here in this one?
Yeah, showing grit on the glass is a good way to gain an advantage. They controlled the boards in the first.
They clearly wanted to be the more physical team, and they are setting the tone that way. I love the work.
Setting the floor for the Pistons. They've got Duncan Robinson, Green out there with Paul Reed. Then there's Ivy, and it's Sasser in at the point guard position. Here's Newell. Still no points. Here's Alexander Walker. Misses the three.
He is just so deadly from out there. You expect that to fall.
Now here's Sasser. Pass to Reed. Ivy, right side. Shot clock at 6. Sasser can't hit.
And they're doing strong work on the glass. A +5 advantage for them.
And stolen by Green. And now the Pistons in transition. And it's hammered home by Green.
And I'll tell you what, that's what being unselfish is all about. Ivy finding the open man.
And we played through the first minute here in the second. A nice shot by Krejci. Krejci's got his second basket of the night. Here's Sasser. Oh, they get a hand on it. Stolen by Kennard. Down low. Here's Krejci. Nice dish, and the layup goes down. And now it's an 8-point Atlanta lead.
And once more this half, they find a way to get great position inside.
Here's Ivy. Second quarter of action, about a minute and a half played. No problems knocking that one down. Sasser's gotten himself going with a triple, his first basket of the game. Atlanta's gotten 5 of 11 threes to drop so far in this game. Pass to Porzingis from the arc. Oh, KP with the three.
Yeah, I love the answer from Porzingis. Don't sleep on his three-point shot.
Robinson on the wing. And there's the lob, and it's hammered home by Green.
The pass, the catch, the slam. What a clean play.
Man, absolutely jaw-dropping. And so the timeout by Quinn Snyder here. He's going to take a moment to give him a breather and talk things over. Atlanta making some changes. Risachet, he's checked in for Krejci. Daniels comes in for Alexander Walker. And it's Trae Young in for Kennard. Detroit also making some changes. Holland, he's checked in for Green. Thompson comes in for Robinson. And Cade Cunningham subbed in for Sasser. And Young has got the ball here for the Hawks. They've led by as many as 11. That'll be the first leg of just a 2-game trip for them. Pass to Newell. Takes a three. Counted from distance. Newell's gotten himself on the board with a three there.
And when it comes to assists, Young is on another level. He's got such a gift for feeding his guys.
Tim, you look at his career rate of assists per game. Trae Young, one of the most prolific passers ever to lace him up.
Yeah, B.A., despite the fact that he's known for shot making, it's his vision that sets him apart, and it's the reason you want the ball in his hands.
And they just continue to dominate the boards.
And Cunningham pulls it down. Cunningham's got 4 rebounds now. And here's Ivy from the arc. The rebound by Atlanta. They couldn't put the pieces together, losing that last matchup with Phoenix.
Just a tough road loss. You're going against players who are comfortable shooting in their own building. You have to find a way to disrupt their focus.
Let's call it what it was. They got overwhelmed. The matchups were just not in their favor.
Offensive rebound. Holland for 3. That one is off. The Hawks lead by 9. Porzingis finds Daniels. Sinks that one from the post. Daniels has got 5 now.
Well, you got to have great control of your body and the ball. Daniels showcasing that on the floater.
Detroit has gone just 1 of 6 from the perimeter here in the second. Pass to Thompson. Up top, Reed. Cunningham outside. Clock at 6. Porzingis grabs the board. Atlanta has gone 7 of 14 from the perimeter in this one. On the wing, Daniels. Offline with a 3. Pistons trail by 11. Here's Thompson. And he drops in the layup off the glass. Thompson's got his second basket of the game.
Good work down low. I mean, I like how confident Thompson is from this area.
Atlanta has gone 2 of 5 from distance here in the second quarter. Daniels, the screen on Ivy. Young, the pass to Porzingis. Unloads from 13. Good. He hits the jumper. Porzingis has got 5 points in the quarter.
And a big reason they have this lead is the way he's shooting the ball.
Ivy against Young. Kicks it out to Cunningham. No good on the triple.
You have to credit their effort. I mean, they've done an amazing job on the glass.
To the inside. Here's Newell. Back to Daniels. Good ball movement here by Atlanta. Inside. And down it goes. Dunked it through off a beautiful setup.
And sends it home with some passion.
I think he's rubbing it in a little bit here. Hang it up there like that. Pistons trail by 13. Trying to find a spark here.
Yes, indeed. A rough stretch offensively. They could really use a basket.
Here's Ivy. That one no good. Ooh, excellent D there from Young. Pass to Rizachet. Now here's Young. Back to Rizachet. 13 feet out. Pulled the shot a little left. The bounce goes his way, though. Rizachet's got 7 points in the game.
They've been the more poised team tonight, and the score reflects that.
I love their approach tonight. They are hitting at a really high percentage.
And that one's good. Cunningham.
That's just a smart play right there. The right pass to a ready shooter.
The Hawks lead by 13. Young looking around. Pass to Rizachet. Back to Young. Three-pointer. Rebound Detroit. Thompson's got 4 rebounds now. Ivy with the ball. And it's Young picking him up. Kept alive. Holland. Oh, and that one, no question. Powered it down.
Grabs the board and goes right in for the putback. I love it, B.A.
Yeah, wanting to close the gap. Makes sense to get aggressive on the glass here. First trip to the free throw line for him tonight. Stewart, he's checked in for Detroit. Tobias Harris comes in for Ivy. And Legs, one thing we're seeing more of these days, head coaches who weren't necessarily high-profile guys coming in.
Well, I do think when you walk into a locker room having played before, there is a level of credibility that's automatically there. But in the age of analytics, it's probably less important that a head coach be a former NBA player.
Pistons trail by 10. And the slam dunk by Thompson.
Flying high, Asar Thompson. I wish I still had hops like that.
For Atlanta, they've gotten 8 of 14 shots to drop so far in the second. And the officials will call the illegal screen here.
The screener was leaning a bit right there. His feet may not have been planted. Pretty obvious call by the officials.
Also, the ball handler needs to wait until the screener's feet are set.
Cunningham passes to Harris. That falls. Nice feed that time from Cunningham. Cunningham's got his third assist of the night. And so the timeout by Quinn Snyder here. Coach taking this moment to speak to his guys. Maybe alter some of the game plan. And these are the teams that have looked to score from the paint often during this season. In the third spot, the Pistons. Number 5, the Hawks.
Yeah, you know, when these two teams play one another, things are going to get physical, especially when it comes to rebounding the ball.
And here's Young. He'll bring it up for Atlanta. The biggest lead of the game, 15 points. Here's the three. The rebound by Stewart. Stewart's got 4 rebounds now. Pass to Cunningham. Stewart outside. For 3, here's Harris. Oh, almost had a 4-point play right there. But he'll go to the line with a chance for 3. Well, when you look at the upside for this young Hawks team, Tim, how good can they be?
I think they could be one of the surprises in the Eastern Conference. They've got an emerging star in Jalen Johnson, one of the best defensive players in the league, and Dyson Daniels. And both of those guys, I think, haven't even come close to scratching the surface.
And both players, high-level work ethic, talent, and guys who want to get after it every day. Tim, how do you like this blend for the new Pistons? Wily veterans alongside the new blood.
I love the way they have built this team. Shooting was their Achilles heel, but these veterans bring spacing and savvy.
Kristaps Porzingis, he's checked in for Atlanta.
And you know what you've got to respect about a guy like Harris? He has been in a lot of different uniforms over the course of his career, but he's been productive everywhere he's been.
And he nails the third.
He's making the most of every trip to the line, providing for his team.
And let's swing it over to the sideline and hear from Allie.
Thanks, Brian. The Hawks star Trae Young and Coach Quinn Snyder are both very close. Young said that's the type of relationship we have. It's not forced, it's just genuine. We both want to see each other succeed, and we know we need each other and everybody else around us. Guys, back to you.
A good partnership. Thanks much for the report, Allie.
At 7'3", Porzingis is a problem. Really makes defenses settle for fouling him and hoping he misses.
Take a break. 2 shots.
That free throw good from Porzingis. Both free throws good from Porzingis.
And having a big man like him who's efficient from the line used to be a luxury, but it's becoming more and more common.
Up top, Stewart. Defended by Porzingis. Here's Cunningham. Ooh, Cunningham making moves inside.
Well, as a scorer, Cunningham is equally comfortable from all three levels.
Atlanta leading by 3. They set the screen. Pass to Rizachet. The 3 is up. Good D by Cunningham.
Just hasn't found much consistency from the floor, but his teammates have picked up the slack.
Holland for 3. Porzingis grabs the board. Porzingis has got 6 rebounds in the game. Here's Rizachet. Shoots over Holland. Rizachet, no good.
He had the right idea going to the fadeaway, but the defender stayed right on it.
Thompson outside. Back to Cunningham. Harris outside. Detroit moving the ball around. The 3 is up. Second shot opportunity. And Stewart with a lay-in. That one's good. And it's now only a 1-point Hawks lead.
Oh, beating everyone to the ball. Great activity on the offensive glass.
Cunningham against Young. Oh, Trey virtually automatic from deep.
Well, that's one thing about Trey Young. He has never seen a 3 he didn't like.
To the paint. Here's Harris. And Harris throws it down.
And despite the height disadvantage, oh my, he just attacks that interior.
Well, he saw the opportunity and he went for it. I love his competitiveness.
Here's Young following the score by Detroit. Porzingis sets a screen. Pass to Daniels. Fires the 3. The Pistons clear it. Got a piece of it. It's stolen by Johnson. There's Young with the 3. Detroit with a rebound. Thompson's got 5 rebounds in the game. Cunningham, left side. There's the 3. From outside the arc. And the shot is good. Harris making the play. Cunningham's got 12.
And he is a guy who typically needs the ball in his hand, so it's good to see Cunningham as a catch-and-shoot option.
Young against Cunningham. Trey with a physical finish.
And that is a high-quality shot. You will take it every time from that close.
And here's Cunningham. He'll bring it up for Detroit. They trail by 1. Harris on the wing. Covered by Johnson. Here's Stewart. Oh, his shooting remains on point. 3 for 4 thus far.
Hey, they're just getting pushed around inside.
Well, the Hawks shooting about 48% so far in the second. Cunningham against Young. On the wing, Daniels. That 3's off the mark.
Well, I love the confidence. Keep shooting it. Eventually, he's got to start making some, right?
Harris passes to Cunningham. Over Young. And it's Cunningham missing. And the first half comes to a conclusion in a game that's been very close so far. Detroit on top, up by 1. And Allie LaForce has something for us on the sidelines. Hey, Allie.
I'm joined now by Coach Quinn Snyder, and they were giving you some trouble in transition. How do you slow them down?
Well, I think we had a couple early where we were in good positions. We just didn't make the right read, and that's the biggest thing. But more than anything, whether it's a make or a miss or a turnover, we just got to really sprint back and be urgent.
The sense of urgency is key. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, Allie. Good stuff. We will be right back after this break for the beginning of the third quarter.
Welcome to the 2K Sports Halftime Show. The Detroit Pistons finding themselves in a closely contested game.
They've been playing very unselfish. I'm telling you, these guys are feeding off the ball movement, and as a basketball fan, it's wonderful to watch, Shaq.
Yeah, no Tyler ball from them. That's why they're getting the good looks. Get it, Tyler Hero?
Your Tyler ball, hero ball.
I knew you would understand, Ernie.
And changing it up, my favorite segment, social media posts. Here's an interesting one from No Foolin' Julian. What's another sport you think you could have gone pro in?
Football, I would have been a tight end. Maybe block some field goals. Do whatever it takes.
I think I could have did soccer, Ernie. Dribbling's dribbling, right?
I guess some people might say that, Jet, but either way, I'd pay good money to see both of you in those endeavors. Glad you could join us. Ryan Anderson and crew are ready to take it away for the start of the third quarter.
Second half of basketball is upon us, and we may be in for an exciting finish based on how close of a game we've seen so far. It has been a clinic out there by Kristaps Porzingis.
Through 2 quarters of play, he's been an excellent source of points.
Well, and I expect they're going to continue to lean on him as we continue in this game. Why not? The way he's playing right now offensively.
And we've got second half action for you. Thus far, a pretty evenly contested game. Daniels and Risache out on the perimeter. Johnson and Okongwu, the duo inside. And it's Young in at the 1. So that's the lineup for Atlanta. Thompson with it, and Johnson picks him up defensively. Harris against Okongwu. Picked by Stewart to the inside. And finished off by Stewart.
They fought so hard to get themselves in a position to win this game.
Well, they've shown great determination, and that speaks to the overall character of this team.
And so it's Atlanta with it, following the score by Detroit. And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Trae Young. That's his first foul of the game.
I love great defense. Just quick to establish his feet, and he takes the hit.
Cunningham against Young. Inside. And Harris throws it down.
And you know Harris is capable of these type of outbursts. He has been a 20-point scorer in this league.
And a minute played as the second half gets going. When you think about the skill of Cade Cunningham, Grant, at his height, what a combination.
B.A., whether it's scoring inside or seeing over the defense or just beasting on smaller guards, his 6'6" frame is certainly an advantage.
Here's Harris, following the score by Atlanta. Stewart, a screen on Johnson, down low. And Stewart with the basket on the assist by Harris. Stewart's got 10 points.
And another great assist. The offense is really clicking now.
Here's Daniels. He's got 5. Just over 1.5 minutes have passed in the third quarter. Pass to Johnson. Outside Young. 6 on the shot clock. From downtown, the rebound by Detroit.
And he almost made them regret defending him so loosely.
Thompson outside. Harris outside. And the 3 off target.
All the credit goes to the defender. Very hard to contest threes without fouling.
Pulls it from 20. Holland with the rebound.
That's a cold start out of the break. Only one of his first 4 has he gotten to go.
Rejected by Okongwu. Here's Johnson. Oh, a beautiful reverse layup. He's got 5.
And inside the paint, Johnson is becoming very consistent. He knows what angle to take.
Well, we're into the third quarter. Just over 2.5 minutes played. Here's Cunningham. Here's Holland. And that one's good with extra effort on the glass. And the Pistons lead by 5.
In a tight game, they wanted to make sure of that possession.
For Atlanta, they've gone 2 of 5 in this third quarter. Outside Rizachet. Johnson on the wing. Pass to Young. The Hawks need to get one up here. The three from Rizachet. Fires in the triple. Rizachet's got 10 points.
Yeah, not an easy shot for Rizachet, but he stayed calm.
Here's Holland. Now Harris, covered by Johnson. Stewart, a screen on Johnson to the middle. Out to Thompson. Oh, trying his luck from deep. Gets the three to fall. Young with it. He's got 12. Okongwu, a screen on Cunningham. Young from long range. And Atlanta hits again from deep.
His first three of the half. That gives him 9 total points from beyond the arc so far.
Cunningham with the ball, and it's Young picking him up. Johnson against Harris. Atlanta with the rebound. Okongwu's got his 7th rebound here tonight. Lets a floater go, and it's Harris with the rebound. And Harris has got the ball here for Detroit. 2-point game. Cunningham passes to Harris. Down low. Here's Stewart. And a foul called on the way up. So he'll take 2 from the free throw line. That one on Johnson.
No debate there. He got hammered.
And a moment to look at the scoring approach in terms of where the points are coming from for the Pistons.
Yeah, they were so aggressive from the start, getting the ball into the painted area. Now, they stuck to their game plan, and it paid off.
And something else I've liked has been their ball movement. Always finding the open guy with a better look. That is team basketball.
That free throw misses. Tim, you graduated with an MBA from an elite business school. How has that impacted how you look at the NBA?
Well, it certainly gives you a look at how the business side of things are impacted in the NBA and a real grasp of the numbers. And man, oh man, are those numbers big at this level.
And he's good on the second. Hawks trail by 3. Outside Young. Now here's Rizachet, guarded closely. Pass to Thompson. The ball's knocked loose. Stolen by Daniels. Here's Young. The rebound by Stewart. Stewart's got rebound number 9 now. What an effort here tonight. And Harris gets it to go on the assist from Holland. Harris has got 14 points.
And for Harris, it's about getting into a rhythm. Once he does this, he can take over games.
The Hawks have gotten only 4 of 10 shots to fall so far in the third. Outside Young to the inside. Here's Rizachet. Holland with a rebound. Holland's got 6 rebounds in the game. Thompson outside. Cunningham against Young. Now here's Cunningham. He's closely guarded, and he banks in the layup. Now it's a 7-point Pistons lead. And so the timeout by Quinn Snyder here. And we might see some changes. Coach potentially looking to adjust. And let's quickly glance at who in this year's rookie class is leading their group in blocks this season. Ron Holland 4th.
Blocking ability like his is very coveted in the league, and he shows no fear clashing at the rim against experienced finishers.
Hawks trail by 7. Right side Young. Johnson on the wing. There's the triple. The Pistons clear it.
I'll tell you what, they've been aggressive and they've been physical.
Pass to Holland. And here's Harris, covered by Johnson. Harris against Johnson. 5 on the clock. Picked by Stewart. The 3 from Thompson. The shot that time not on target. Atlanta's gotten 2 of 4 threes to fall here in this third quarter. Johnson passes to Okongwu. Cans it with nobody near him. Okongwu's gotten his second bucket.
Good heads-up basketball. Sees an opening and capitalizes.
Back to Cunningham. Stolen by Young. Here's the break. Here's Daniels. Rebounded by the Pistons. Stewart's got 11 rebounds in the game. And there's the drive. The three from Thompson. The rebound by Atlanta. Okongwu's got his 8th rebound here tonight. Here's Daniels. And he drops it in from the low post. Daniels has got 7 points in the game. And so the timeout by J.B. Bickerstaff here. Coach probably just checking to make sure everybody's on the same page here. And the Hawks making a change here. Alexander Walker's checked in. And the Pistons making a change here as well. Ivy's checked in. And Detroit has possession. 3-point lead. Here's Harris. It's rebounded by Risache. And the Hawks shooting the rock well at 46%. Johnson with a bucket.
Nice pass by Risache. You can already see he has a high basketball IQ.
Harris outside. Stewart, a screen on Johnson. And here's Harris outside. Knocks down the triple. He's got 17.
And now that's 1 3 in each half. He is trying to make the most of those 3-point opportunities.
Pass to Alexander Walker. Daniels outside. Launches it. Thompson pulls it in. Thompson's got his 6th rebound on the night. That's tipped. Daniels passes to Johnson. Oh, and Johnson slams it in.
Wow, through that contact. That is a really nice play by Johnson.
Now Ivy. Pass to Harris. Stewart, a screen on Johnson. Here's Harris. That shot makes him 7 for 14. He's been good tonight.
Yeah, this period, they're letting him go to work, and it's paying off.
Hawks trail by 4. Here's Alexander Walker. Looking at his production, close to 12 points a game. In transition. Here's Stewart, and finished off by Stewart.
And this kind of play is only going to grow their lead, holding the other guys down on defense and converting on the turnover.
Atlanta's gone 2 for 5 from 3 since halftime. From deep, Johnson. Rebounded by the Pistons.
Practically a block. Good, strong challenge.
He didn't quite get a hand on it, but he did enough to affect the miss. Well, he has dictated the tempo this entire quarter, getting basically whatever he wants offensively.
Here's Risache following the 3-pointer by Detroit. Inside. And you could argue Onyeka Okongwu is a little undersized at the center position, but it's hard to overlook his impact, Tim.
Well, that's because he contributes in so many areas. Blocks, steals, rebounds. He can make plays, you name it. And he keeps adding to his game year after year.
First one falls for him. All right, Legs, when it comes to rim protection, other than Victor Wembanyama, who's at the top of your list?
Well, certainly his fellow countryman Rudy Gobert would be up there, but I also like guys like Jaren Jackson Jr. and Evan Mobley because I like guys who combine shot blocking with mobility on the perimeter.
Such an influx of great talent with size in the NBA right now.
Great list of young guys who can do both.
The Pistons lead by 7. Ivy passes to Robinson. To the paint. It's stolen by Okongwu. Here's Rizachet. Here's Johnson. Oh, and there's the whistle on the shot. So 2 free throws for him coming up.
Yeah, there's Johnson again. That's just too much size and too much skill.
And this will be his second trip to the free throw line. That free throw, no good.
And what Jalen Johnson brings to the floor is energy and unselfishness. He works hard out there every single night, and he's all about team.
Here's what Atlanta's going with right now. Porzingis has checked in for Okongwu. Newell comes in for Rizachet. And it's Young in for Daniels. Detroit also making some changes. Reed comes in for Stewart. And Cunningham subbed in for Harris.
Things are starting to come together for them. And the lead is starting to grow, too.
And they need to stay aggressive on defense so they can protect that lead with everything they've got.
1:33 left in the third quarter. And here's Young. 15 points in the game. Good ball movement here by Atlanta. Newell from outside. He buries it from 3. Newell's got his 3rd bucket of the night.
Too much space on the perimeter. There needs to be a little more energy from the defense.
1:11 left in the third. Cunningham, left side. Alexander Walker grabs the board.
Probably should have scored there. He usually does.
Pass to Johnson. Lets the 3 fly. Rebounded by the Pistons. Their biggest lead of the game was 9. Here's Ivy. And that's out of bounds. Last touch by Ivy.
Yeah, a communication breakdown. 2 guys thinking in opposite directions. The pass winds up in the stands.
Krejci's checked in for the Hawks. Hawks trail by 6. 35 seconds left in the third. Outside, Alexander Walker. Had a miss there on the triple. And so it's Cunningham with it. He brings it up for Detroit. Robinson for 3. Sinks the tray. Robinson's got 8.
He drops yet another dime. Just facilitating this offense like a maestro.
Ivy against Young. Right wing. Pass to Krejci. Launches the 3. Gets the 3 ball to go. 10 points for him.
These teams are finding the range, showing a lot of confidence.
Yeah, he was so ready to answer that. These teams are just battling.
It's been all about Tobias Harris for the Pistons. Hit a couple from downtown this quarter. More NBA on 2K Sports right after this. Man, I know I speak for all of us when I say I can't wait to see what kind of finish awaits us here in the fourth quarter. Here's Ivy. And on the floor for Detroit here in the fourth. Javonte Green out there with Duncan Robinson. Then it's Paul Reed. Then there's Ivy. And it's Cunningham in at the 2. Connects from downtown.
Good job hitting the glass. They're +8 in rebounding.
Hawks trail by 9. Now here's Young. Pass to Porzingis. Let's go with a 3. And Newell is good for 3.
Yeah, all the way up there at 7-2. I mean, it must be pretty easy for Porzingis to see the floor.
The Pistons shooting at 49% so far in the game. Green finds Robinson. Now Reed. Count that bucket. And the Pistons lead by 8.
And they're shooting with much more confidence here in the second half. The field goal percentage is now over 50%.
We played just over a minute here in the fourth. Pass to Newell. Back to Young. Over to the wing. Stolen by Ivy. And up the court come the Pistons on the break. Shoots over Young. Ivy's shot is off.
It's been a quiet game for him to this point on the offensive end, but the team has still played well enough to hold the lead.
Young with it. Picked up by Cunningham. Young misses.
And he probably thought he was going to bury that one.
Pass to Robinson from deep. Atlanta with a rebound. Newell's got 6 rebounds now in the game. And stolen by Green. Well, the defender's stopping the developing fast break. That looks like a transition take foul.
One shot.
Now here's Cunningham, covered by Alexander Walker. Picked by Reed. Back to Cunningham. 6 to shoot. To the inside. And he goes strong with the one-handed jam.
Oh, not the defensive effort they need to cut into the lead.
Boy, good call. You have to at least try to protect the rim.
Yeah, I mean, when you're fighting back, you cannot give up plays like that.
A touch under 2.5 minutes have passed now here in the fourth. Oh, got a piece of it. Here's Porzingis. And a slam dunk by Porzingis.
And look at Porzingis hustling in transition, getting there to complete the fast break.
Detroit leading by 9. Cunningham with the ball. Pass to Reed. Parked it down low that time. Got hit with the 3-second call. And Atlanta making a change here. Okongwu's checked in. And a switch here also for Detroit. Stewart, he's checked in for Green. The Hawks have gone 2 of 3 to open the fourth quarter. Young against Ivy. Pass to Alexander Walker. Here's Krejci. It's hauled in by Robinson. Detroit has gone 1 of 2 from deep in this quarter. And here's Reed. Outside Robinson. Okongwu with the rebound. Okongwu's got 9 rebounds in the game. Boy, he's getting it done. Inside.
It's really good to see Kristaps inside forcing the issue. We know his outside abilities, but he can also bang down low.
That free throw good from Porzingis. And good on the second, so he makes them both. Detroit leading by 7. Ivy outside. Outside Robinson. Detroit moving the ball around. Pass to Cunningham. Just 5 to shoot to the middle. And Stewart with the basket on the assist by Cunningham. Cunningham's got 6 assists in the game. And they've been careless with the ball tonight.
Yeah, it's a lack of focus and a lack of discipline. They're better than this.
Here's Porzingis. Stewart defends. Okay, do it, KP.
And after adding 16 pounds of muscle during the 2019 offseason, Porzingis handles contact so much better. Great finish inside.
For Detroit, they've got 4 of 8 shots to drop here in this final quarter. For 3, Robinson. The rebound by Atlanta. Here's Alexander Walker. No good on the 3.
That's his shot, and one I'm sure he wants back.
Stewart outside. 4-3. Porzingis grabs the board. And here's Young. He'll bring it up for the Hawks. They trail by 7. Pass to Porzingis. Blocked! Now Cunningham. Ivy passes to Stewart. No stopping him there! Jams it in, and he's fouled! An opportunity at a three-point play. Kristaps Porzingis picks one up. Atlanta making some changes. Johnson, he's checked in for Porzingis. Risachet comes in for Krejci. And Daniels is subbed in for Alexander Walker. Detroit also making some changes. Harris is checked in for Reed. Holland comes in for Robinson. And it's Asar Thompson in for Ivy. Hawks trail by 10. Here's Young. Outside Johnson. On the wing, Risachet. Jacks up a 3. Nails it from 3.
That's his 3rd triple of the night. His 2nd since halftime.
Detroit leading by 7. Down low. Here's Thompson. And the slam dunk by Thompson.
So sick, the vertical ability.
That was flat out awesome. He has that effortless knack for getting to the hoop. Now here's Daniels. Pass to Young. Back to Daniels. Launches a 3. Trae Young, what a 3!
Back-to-back threes, making their defense work on the perimeter a bit.
Here's Cunningham. Stewart, a screen on Young. There's Cunningham with a 3. They get it back.
Reading the trajectory of that shot, he anticipated the big rebound.
They get the rebound. Oh, he hangs in there and cashes in on the second chance points. And now just a 4-point Detroit lead.
He really gets in perfect position for the follow. Just a terrific read.
Thompson with it. Now guarded by Daniels. There's Cunningham with a 3. Yes, and a nice assist from Thompson. Thompson's got his 4th assist with that last one. Now here's Risachet. Not a lot of room. On the wing, Daniels. Outside Johnson. Launches it. Rebound Detroit. Harris has got 4 rebounds now. Driving to the basket. Holland fires it. Again the miss by Cunningham.
And even with the miss, that's a high percentage shot for him.
Daniels passes to Young. Pass to Johnson. Shot clock at 6. Daniels outside. Beyond the arc. The rebound by Detroit. They've led by as many as 11. Holland for 3. Rebound Atlanta. Johnson's got double-digit rebounds now in the game. Cunningham against Young. Johnson a screen on Harris. Now here's Johnson. The three from Ricochet. And it's Harris with the rebound. Harris has got 6 rebounds here tonight. Tim, talk about what Tobias Harris has brought to the Detroit Pistons.
Well, Brian, he has just stabilized them on the floor. And Coach Bickerstaff said it best. Harris knows what the game needs, and he has the versatility to get it done.
Well, Grant, Tobias Harris has been around the league. What's his best asset?
You know, I think it's his reliability and versatility. Harris is always on the floor, having led the NBA in games played multiple times, and he just gets the job done.
Now here's Cunningham. Shoots over Young, and it's Cunningham missing. And Young has got the ball here for Atlanta. 8-point game, and Atlanta misses again.
I mean, he's trying to shoot his way out of what's becoming a prolonged cold streak.
And he doesn't have to do it alone. He's got 4 teammates on the floor.
Harris misses. And Atlanta shooting just 38% here in the fourth. The putback, just in time with the putback.
Just a great follow-up move by Daniels. Coaches love guys who are ready to fight for the play.
Outside Cunningham. Stewart outside. Here's Thompson. Cunningham! Can't get the 3. Hawks trail by 6. Daniels fires. Cashes in from 18.
And how about Daniels embracing the spotlight? He loves hitting these big-time shots.
Shooting 2.
No good on that one. He hits the second from the line. And here's Young. And stolen by Cunningham. Outside Harris. Stewart, a screen on Johnson. Now Stewart. And yes, sir, in stride on the lay-in from a sweet assist.
And it only makes sense to give him the rock again. He put the team on his back all game.
Well, the volume has been there, but so has the efficiency, which is why they're in control of this game.
And here's Young. He'll bring it up for the Hawks. 7-point differential. Now Okongwu. Oh, the drop pass, and he dunks it down.
He can really read the floor. Precision pass in rhythm.
Well, Detroit's shooting about 47%. A nice number.
Well, this is a good reminder for anybody who thinks he's too small for a 5. His athletic ability totally levels the playing field.
Well, the Hawks shooting at 45% of the game so far. 18 feet out. Stewart with the rebound.
Well, that's a shot he should make a majority of the time.
Now Cunningham. Now Young with a steal.
Things aren't looking good here. I mean, they need points and they need them now.
Yeah, this is one of those moments where everything is going to have to go your way.
Detroit leading by 5. Cunningham, left side. Now Stewart from downtown. The 3 is in.
Man, he's on fire. Playing patient basketball, not forcing shots.
Stewart's gone 1 for 3 from deep tonight. Young! And the 3 misses.
Shooting 2.
And he misses the first one. Boy, he wanted that one to go. And the second of 2 is good. And that'll put him up by 9.
Would have been nice to drain them all, but he did enough to put this one in the bag.
Here's Daniels. And stolen by Cunningham. 7-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Now Harris. Oh, yeah! That's good!
Showing us that killer instinct right now. No letting the foot off the gas for them.
They are playing with so much confidence. They've been clutch all the way around.
At this point, it just feels like it's over.
Yeah, anything they do at this point is going to be futile. Too little, too late.
The bucket is good! So we see the Pistons get the win here. It ends up being a fairly easy road win.
Those are so hard to come by. It's never easy to take a game in someone else's building.
Thank you for joining us. That'll do it for now. With Tim Legler, Ali LaForce, and Grant Hill, this is Brian Anderson. As always, we appreciate you tuning in tonight. And as we leave you, here's a look at our player of the game, Isaiah Stewart.